Satellites. Every one of us relies on satellite technology on a daily basis. They've drastically changed our society and the way we monitor the planet. But there's a problem. The way we power satellites hasn't changed since the very first one in 1957. We're disrupting a £550 million industry that's growing at 20%. The space industry is booming, and that's largely because the size, weight, and cost of satellites has decreased by 100 times. They used to be the size of a van and weigh a ton, and now they're the size of a shoebox and weigh a few kilograms. Now, as they've shrunk, so have their solar panels, and that means that many new satellites simply don't get enough power. Many don't get as much power as a mobile phone. Now, our phones are amazing, but when they run out of power, they are useless. Imagine using your phone for an hour and needing to charge it for 9. That's a reality for many satellites, with a utilization as low as 10%. The lack of power and the inability to add power in orbit are the biggest obstacles to further innovation in the space industry. Lumi solves this problem by powering satellites using terrestrial lasers. Now, that might all sound very sci-fi, but what we're actually doing is combining 3 existing technologies for the first time. Firstly, transmitting power with a laser, which is already done for remote scientific stations and ski chalets. Secondly, accurately pointing a laser to space, which is already being done to measure the distance to satellites and to calibrate telescopes. And thirdly, pinpointing objects in space. And that's where I come in. My name's Hira. I'm a physicist and orbit prediction engineer with a decade's exposure to the space industry. I was the first person outside the United States to have their PhD sponsored by the United States Air Force to study how to pinpoint man-made objects in space. I also founded Moped Spotted and have served as a lead data scientist and management consultant to FTSE 100 companies. We have a strong advisory board, including experts in laser weapons technology, satellite sales, and power transfer. We're the first winners of a competition with the European Space Agency and Open Cosmos to prove this in orbit. We've raised over £200,000 so far, and we've proven our technology on an abandoned airfield using off-the-shelf equipment. From our conversations with satellite operators, we know their priority is more power over cheaper launch. And yet, billions are being invested in cheaper launch, while the market for power is being ignored. The economic incentive for satellite operators is huge. Lumi effectively adds up to 40% to the value of each satellite. For SpaceX and Blue Origin to deliver a booming space industry, the next generation of satellites need much more power. That's what we do, enhancing existing satellites and enabling the mind-blowing space technology of tomorrow. At Lumi, we aren't doing AI in the cloud. We're doing it above the clouds. Thank you.